You are listening to Indy, InTune.
Old crow in a tree with icy eyes watching me, and the cords tore the flag at the train yard. He was kind of like a kid, always quick with a question. He remembered every thought like a postcard. There was handsome evidence to support the circumstance where proceeding was a winless situation. I know what you must think. You were busy telling me, and reality can change your expectations. The place that he was living in was somewhere I had never been. I forgot the road and wandered on alone. Times aren't what they used to be. A throat that's cut still gets to sing. It's often stranger than you'll ever know. Timing, see, is everything. I hope that no one noticed me. You can keep up a charade for several weeks, dealing with these feelings now. I wonder if I'll leave this town that's been building and breaking my identity. Enemy, if you dwell on vanity, life's change is constant with no friends or foes. White trucks pulled off to the right. When I awoke, the sky was wide and the river banks and barren trees were froze. Dealing with these feelings now, I wonder if I'll leave this town that's been building and breaking my identity. I'm dealing with these feelings now. I wonder if I'll leave this town that's been building and breaking my identity.
That was January Postcard by my guest this evening, Mr. Coot Crabtree.
Hello, sir.
Welcoming back to the show. Last seen on show number 64 with the Peyton Brothers and
Andrew Funky.
And Andrew
bass
Funky
player
of
the Rhinestones, and the host of the Back Road Radio Show.
I thought you were the host of the Back Road Radio Show.
I had to hand over the duties. Andrew Funky and Tim Plunkett are now the brains behind the Back Road Radio
I was
Show.
afraid some corporate thing took it over after
Not
you
yet.
said. So at least it stayed in the family.
Well, yeah, and especially this year, I'm still going to do like some like Cootie's Corner or something once a month, kind of like
in the field, little interviews with.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, my co-host this evening, Mr. Press Maxson.
What's up? Appreciate that. Let me go on record as saying right now, Cootie, I love your beard, man. I aspire. No, I'm serious, man. I aspire to be that. It's got the touch of gray that kind of assumes wisdom. And that's the kind of thing I'm about, assuming wisdom.
I appreciate that.
And his is much fuller than yours.
I know.
And you'll
know.
I don't even try to grow a beard anymore. I
know.
stick with, because I grow a beard and it looks like Scrabble plus a goatee.
But
I mean, yeah, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Now, what I'm more amazed at is that Cootie seems to be about half the man he was a year ago than he was a year ago. You've lost quite a bit of weight, sir.
Well, I shaved off some of the beard. A lot of it was
and that took care of 50
there.
pounds.
There was pounds
well,
there.
That 10-gallon hat must have weighed 80 pounds as well.
Yeah, I guess I have dropped a few pounds. It's not like I'm trying or anything. Maybe I've got
man.
some disease or something.
I mean, you're always good looking.
Scratch
good,
that. Cut that door.
You don't look as jolly as you did though. Now you look more like a serious, mean guy. You look like a big jolly Santa Claus guy before. Now you're like this
strictly business.
You're like
Darren.
this truck driver guy. You're kind of frightening me now. So. Press is pouring beers, but so we were talking about the Backroads Radio Show, which you got I think right after you were on the show last time.
Okay, yeah,
and that was was that the news station picking that up?
It's on WITT out of I guess technically Zionsville.
We don't have to plug it if you're not on the show anymore.
Well, yeah, I want to.
Yes, and it was a great little plug for local music and some local bluegrass.
It was, the Backroad Radio Show, exploring the back roads of Americana, alt country, and roots music.
Yeah,
that was our guidelines there.
And how do you get a radio show? And speaking as someone that would love to have a radio show, how do you get into that market?
I just I knew that Jim up there, the man in charge of the station, had started the station, and pretty much I think I just called him up and said, what would it take to get my own hour show? Half hour or hour, and just boils down to the sponsors. It's community radio. It's all voluntary, and it was real easy. A lot of folks have started their own shows since we started the Backroad Radio Show. Right. There's a lot of local radio shows up there now.
But you did it for local music, which I thought was really cool. That was sweet of you, man. Well, because I knew our buddy Marvin Parrish, when he did the Whiskey Brothers Homegrown Rock Show, he actually had to pay the radio station in order to play music. Local music on that radio station. Well, you got to pay us for the time slot then.
Well, we would have had to pay, but I found, like-minded sponsors. Then it was Spencer Stadium Tavern, which worked out well. They were one of our sponsors because they would have local musicians coming through, even regional acts.
And they're like home base for you now, aren't they?
Kinda. It's just the Stadium Tavern. I guess Spencer's
no longer involved.
Yeah, he sold out, but I've got a show coming up there in February, actually.
Awesome.
It'd be helpful if I had those dates in front of me.
It would help if you had these dates because we will want to plug your dates later. Press, you got a question for our guests? Because I don't think you've actually ever met Mr. Crabtree.
I actually have not, and I'm intrigued by one of three things. I'm intrigued by great music, and I feel like that's something that Mr. Crabtree feels is important. Secondly, great beards, also something Mr. Crabtree feels is important. And thirdly, whiskey. Something that has just been placed in front of us. Something that has just been placed in front of us.
We have to do a shot of whiskey?
Yeah, we got to do a shot of whiskey, but I want to hear the toast. I mean, I'm not just about to start spouting BS. I want to hear something. I know, I'm not about to. Not something I'm into. Unbelievable.
Is this whiskey?
Is it
yeah,
whiskey?
it is.
Seriously?
I think it is. So let's hear it. What are your thoughts, Mr.
Here's
Crabtree?
to the things we can't explain. Dancing lessons from the gods, I guess. So let's all drink to the great big rain that's going to wash away this awful mess.
Did you prepare that? Okay.
Damn. That's going to help the throat.
That was the worst experience of my entire life.
That really wasn't good whiskey.
And
What
I've been
was that?
hit by a car.
What was that?
Okay, so here's my first question. I want to hear about process. I mean, this is the most fundamental thing I feel like in songwriting and music. I mean, when you sit down, you have an idea to record a song or write a song. What's the first approach you take?
But I don't have any strict guidelines. It happens different ways. There's I've had songs fall in my lap pretty much, lyrically and musically all at once. A lot of times I'll just start writing what turn into lyrics, and then I have to chase down the music sometimes. But I definitely don't like to force it over, like, try too hard to make something fit. Yeah, there's no real equation for it for me. It either works or it doesn't. And I'm fortunate enough to have several good friends who are great songwriters, and we kind of share songs. Like, I'll do some of theirs, they help me with some of mine, vice versa. I record several songs by, like, Johnny Ping, Owen Neighbors, Jethro Easyfields. I've got some really talented buddies out there.
That was the one thing I noted about you in particular was whenever I see someone doing a CD release party like Jethro Easyfields or somebody like that, when they assemble their buddies to get on stage, it's always Cooties up there on the end. And then when he does an album, he's got like tons of the great local roots and folk players on your albums.
Yeah, I think they're great.
So
it's like great to have that stable of talent.
Have you ever really done like a solo, just you and an acoustic guitar album before? Have you?
Not strictly.
Well, we're going to hear that tonight for the very first time.
I'll do a couple like that. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, mostly you're like the guy that gets the all-stars together, or the all-stars grab you, and it's kind of like you're entrenched in this whole. It's a great circle. The folk and roots circle in this town is
the family.
The family.
La Familia. Yeah, it's good to have them.
And also, really you were the first to have your own podcast for a while. I think we talked about that when Scott Kern put together the Crabtree's Trunk podcast.
Yeah, back when... yeah, that's right. The Crabtree's Trunk. I forgot about that.
Oh, I love that. It went all of 8 episodes. But,
I wonder if it's still available out there.
It's still out there, yeah. You guys haven't done a new show in 5 years, but you did have the Crabtree's Trunk podcast.
Scott Kern, he's all about that stuff, the techie... technical into things. He's the nerd wizard.
He keeps coming up. I've got to meet the guy.
He is recording my album that I'm working on now. He's producing it.
I just had Man Super on.
Yeah.
And, of course, he mentioned Scott Kern. And
yeah. He loves the music. He does a lot of it voluntarily. He just really enjoys that end of it. Very talented musician as well. As he also has all the toys and gadgets to make the magic happen.
He's got Straboss Union is his outfit, right?
Yeah, I think they may be defunct now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
That's why they don't answer my emails trying to get them on the show then, because they break up.
Sure, that's why.
Yeah, I don't think Scotty's playing with anybody regularly right now.
Okay.
Where do you play regularly? Is it in the area here?
I do a couple shows a month. I was doing that, in 2010. Mainly around Indianapolis, the Stadium Tavern. I do a couple shows a year at Locals Only. Just kind of wherever it would have me, really. I mean, if I'm doing a show with, the whole band, it's great to have a central location where their friends, family, fans can come out and check us out. I'm actually working on a little mini tour for this year, like regional. Evansville, Louisville, Lexington, Cincinnati.
Have you done that before?
No.
So like you're really probably not all that well known outside of
Indianapolis. I've shot down to Louisville for a show or two, or over to Illinois for a show, but never like a run of shows.
So where are you going in Illinois? I mean, is this
probably down around southern Illinois? I mean, last summer I did my first real festival. It was actually, I played festivals in the past, but they were kind of always a disaster. Didn't have their crap together, and but that was in Paris, Illinois. It's called the Lower T Jamboree. I'll be doing that later this summer. But
I don't want to sound like a small town guy, but Paris, Illinois is heaven.
There you go.
Continue, please.
I got stuck in Plum Grove, Illinois.
Plum Grove.
My car broke down outside Plum Grove on I-70 there.
Unbelievable place. Paris is outside of Charleston, no?
Paris. It's right across the border from Terre Haute.
Yeah.
Because
I'm more than like
minutes from Indiana.
Yeah. It's that great little stretch where you hit Peru and then Paris.
Just north of
somewhere in the middle is Terre Haute, which sounds French, but really isn't.
But it's the Lower T Jamboree. They do it every year. All the proceeds go to a cancer benefit fund. And like I said, it was great. They really had their stuff together. They took care of the musicians. There was a great, huge audience. Looking forward to going back this summer.
Fun. Who else plays on that? Anyone from around here that we know?
Nobody from around here. I got on the gig from through my friends Jeff Randall and the Sunday Best. I'm good friends with the bass player Danny Postlethwaite. They're from the area over there. Okay. And they play here where we're at now Wits End
Wits
sometime.
End. We got to plug Wits End. Thank
Danny
you for
and his lovely
hospitality.
girlfriend Dana. They have a side band, and I met them, and they took me under their wing and brought me onto the festival last year.
Of course, it's sad. We're plugging Wits End, and this is the quietest background music we've had. Normally, you're at a bar, you hear din and glasses clanking.
Yeah.
Wits End, it's an empty bar.
We're in the back.
We're in the
cave.
back room. It's
Yeah.
not like Wits End is empty and no one comes here. We're in the back room because it was too noisy.
VIP area.
We're in the VIP. We're sitting at the poker table.
We're right by the stripper pole.
Right.
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here. Yeah, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but we all did whiskey shots, if I'm correct, and I got one for everyone in this room, but there are 2 left. Who's not doing them?
He
Is
can't.
the question.
I would say Mr. Finn does not drink, but
Mr. Finn. So
I think you need to do the last 2
well,
there.
I love we've got
Listen.
musical greatness in the
You're
room with
the-
us, but he's
you're the
standing over there
guest.
away from a mic. So
I feel like the guest should be the one to do it, like the
I'll do
featured.
another one. If you
yeah,
do another one with me.
No, let's go. Let's go.
this show's already off the rails. So
Here we
I gotta edit this back
Wait,
into a
you
simple
got rails?
order. Yeah, there's rails somewhere.
Oh, break them out.
But quite frankly, I'm like, well, what do I ask Coot? So we'll just wing
We'll
it.
talk.
It's fun. It's great.
Okay.
That's all.
We're friends
that's
here.
what the
Here we
show
go.
is about.
Cheers.
It's about ad lib off the cuff. Cheers. Blah. That was horrible.
Yeah. Whatever, you son of a...
So actually, the question I wanted to lead in with before Press jumped in, so I may edit this back at the beginning. But so, what have you been up to for the last year, music-wise? You already mentioned the festival.
Did the festival last summer. Over 2010, I played quite a bit. The backing band I had kind of steady when I was on the show last time, the Rhinestones. We played only 2 shows together in 2010. They were both great shows, but there's the 3 of them. They're a professional backing band, but they've all their lives are changing a little bit, so that their availability is not what it was. Children, careers, the radio show's taking a lot of their time. So I've been playing a lot with the Payton brothers, who are good friends
Who
of
were also
mine.
on the show with you, or one of them was on the show
Yeah,
with you
Jason
last night.
Payton was on the last show with me. They produced my album, The Monon Drift. So I play with them quite a bit. So I kind of, I still have the Rhinestones for certain shows. We're looking to do at least a show a quarter in 2011 because we played a show right around the holidays at the Stadium Tavern, and it was just phenomenal. It's like flipping a switch with those guys. We don't even have to rehearse.
Right.
We just go in there and play, and it's like...
And
seriously
they are
the best
they're
at-
set up as like a backup band for hire kind of an
Yeah,
outfit.
yeah.
So they're that's what they're geared for, is
Exactly.
coming in and just going on at a whim.
And they're really good at it. So, but we're going to do at least a few shows this year with them. And obviously, like I said, the Payton brothers are going to follow me around. It's kind of pickup bands, but I feel I'm confident with the Payton brothers, having them behind me, and might hire a new drummer now and then or somebody like that. But
Now, did I see you doing something with Steve Smith?
Steve Smith, we've ran in the similar circles for the last 10 years, and I actually officially met him this past year. He hosts the open mic at the Blind Pig in Greenwood, and I finally made it in there, and we finally met, and we clicked.
So I'm proud there's one bar I've been fired from in this city, and it is the Blind Pig.
Yeah.
I
Congratulations.
couldn't even make it at the Pig.
But yeah, I met him there, and shot glasses are flying everywhere.
That's all right.
But yeah, I really enjoy what he does. He's got his own thing going. He's obviously a very talented musician.
He's phenomenal, yeah.
He's really good, and
that-
it's more of a jam.
That guy
end
he
of the
hangs out
spectrum.
with, Jacob Ginnup, he's
Jacob
pretty good
Gwinnett,
too.
he's all right, I guess. I love Jacob. Conga J.
Conga
Gwinnett.
J.
There's some talent in that family.
Just a little bit.
That bloodline. And so yeah, Steve Smith, he sits in with the bands time to time. He sat in with me and the Payton brothers at the Lower T Jamboree last year on lead guitar.
I say both he and Jacob have been on the show with the Fernhead bit that they do, which
Yes.
was really kind of a cool thing. He used to have a Tuesday residency at Locals.
Yeah,
So I'll reference that in the show notes. You can go hear about Steve Smith, because Steve's a great interview, too.
absolutely.
And he's a fun guy.
And Jacob, speaking of Conga J, Jacob Gwinnett, he just did a documentary on the local open mic.
saw that,
scene.
yeah.
That might be worth checking into too. Maybe you can link that up.
I
on
will
the
definitely
page.
link that up.
It's just a few minutes long. I think he did it for one of his. He's in school right now.
Film study course he's doing.
Right.
Yeah,
but it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, that was on his Facebook page. Really great guy. Just that whole Fern. I don't know if Fernhead still plays that often now, or
they're still out there. Steve does shows as the Steve Smith Trio, and Fernhead still exists, but it's a loose existence. It's fluid.
It's that weird music because then that. Jacob was one of the guys. Like I was in a band with Jacob, even so. It's like when you get that weird musical family tree going, and like everybody's playing with somebody in this town. It's like
I think
that's my in right there. Well, him and Spainhauer.
Jacob even did for that similar college courses. He had to build a website, and ended up being a Fernhead website. And as members of Fernhead, there's a 30-member list, and I ended up as a member of Fernhead just because I've sat in with them a couple times.
There's a couple Darren Brush, I keep trading emails with. The guy sounds like he's totally cool, but I've never met him. It's like we got the same musical taste.
Oh,
It's like, this guy sounds so cool.
Get along great.
I got to meet him someday.
He's a phenomenal bass player.
Yeah, he is, from what I understand. Let's play another song. What's our second song up? Well, tell us a little bit about January Postcards, which is our...
Okay.
That was off a Christmas compilation, actually.
Kevin Phillips, one of the managers, owners of Standard Recording, local record label.
Say Locals Only, Kevin.
Yeah, bartender at Locals Only. He, I guess the last few years they've done a Christmas album, and it's all benefit. All the proceeds go to a local charity. This year it was for a very standard Christmas album, Volume 3, I believe. All the proceeds went to Face, a local cat or dog and cat spay neuter clinic, and he asked me to do a song on this year's album, and so I actually recorded January Postcard. It's my buddy Johnny Ping's song. It really has nothing to do with Christmas. There's some wintry imagery in the songs, as you probably just heard. So Johnny and I went up to Steve Smith's home studio and recorded that track, the January Postcard.
Cool. What's our next song up?
Probably how about Don't Blame Your Baby on Me?
I thought that was a funny one.
It started out as a Easy Fields, Owen Neighbors song, two of my songwriting heroes. And then I actually added the last verse is mine, so we've each got a verse, so, it's a big collaboration. But this particular version was recorded at Snap Joint Studios with Mr. Perry.
Say we already did a show at Snap Joint with Perry's been on the show before too.
This was recorded there.
We love Perry. That's why I said I can't believe that he let you in because you don't do R&B.
No, we don't do that. But I think he enjoyed it. It was me and the Rhinestones doing this version of Don't Blame Your Baby.
crying for lessons to keep you undressing. I knew nothing like this could ever be. Well, don't blame your baby on me. To tell me which way did you vote, please let me know. Take your claws from round my heart, baby, let me go. I got used to hiding whiskey from my wife. I got used to thinking twice. Well, c'est la vie. Don't blame your baby on me. Oh, Daddy keeps a loaded shotgun. It's hanging on the wall above his bed. And he loads his own shells, rock salt and nails. Believes every word his darling says. Well, don't blame your baby on me. Tell me which way did you vote? Please let me know. Take your claw round my heart, better let me go. I got used to hiding women from my wife. I got used to thinking twice. Well, c'est la vie. Don't blame your baby on me. No, don't blame your baby on me. Don't blame your baby on me.
All right, so my question is, where can we hear you? I mean, where can we hear you if you just want to do it and, you're just sitting around on a Wednesday afternoon and you say,
I'll tell you what, the best place to go right now, there's a good selection of tracks on reverbnation.com/Cootie Crabtree. I actually just started a Facebook page. Scott Crabtree has a page, but there's also a Cootie Crabtree page now, which is linked up to Reverb Nation. You know how the Facebook does that. You can search Cootie Crabtree, and it'll pull up. It's dedicated to upcoming shows. There's videos and MP3s for download or listening.
Have you abandoned the MySpace page like everybody else?
Dude, it's still there. I never check it. I don't think I can remember my password. I don't think I remember my password for it. It's there. There's still music there, pictures and stuff. But
Any hackers out there in the audience, if you could please get into his
Yeah,
MySpace
let
page
me
and
know.
tell him what his password
Yeah.
is. You don't have like a cootiecrabtree.com yet?
Man, I bought crabtreemusic.com, but for a while it was linked up to the Rhinestones page. But right now it's defunct. I was going to have it linked up to the Reverb
You need me to
Nation
sit down
page.
and give you my generic musician website so you can hook that up to that.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
yeah.
I need to write that.
I bought crabtreemusic.com.
Just cut and paste PressMaxon.com and give him that.
Here, Cootie Crabtree Music at PressMaxon.com.
There, Cootie-
That's it.
Okay.
PressMaxon.com/CootieCrabtree.
That's
Wherever
not real.
will have me.
Wherever
That's
we'll
not
have it.
real. I'd like to get to actually what is on everyone's mind, but no one is saying. Celebrities that you've dated. Don't play coy.
I don't want to go there,
Don't
man.
even play
I don't kiss
coy
and
about
tell.
this. Don't play coy. There are members of the cast.
The problem is the in-jokes that are
Gossip
flying don't come
Girl.
out for 6 more episodes.
Man, there was that brief fling. I don't even want to talk about Ricky Lake. I mean,
You dated Ricky Lake.
I don't want.
I knew
don't
it.
make fun of her. She's a beautiful soul. We had a good time. We had something there, man.
Yeah, I guess.
It's what it was, you know? I mean,
No, don't even. All
she
right.
has a piece of real estate in my heart.
Speaking of real estate, I mean, it does no good to do a visual reference on a podcast, but damn, that's a nice little Crabtree's trunk tattoo you've got going on your arm there.
Thank you very much. That was the logo. I hired Mr. Shelby Kelly to design.
We had talked about that on the last show, yes.
For me and the Rhinestones. And he sure enough did it, and I liked it well enough to get it permanently tattooed.
Well, hang on, because we're talking about it, I should
on my
probably
arm.
take a picture of it to throw in the show notes real quick. So,
All right, let me ask you this. Of all the places you played, favorite show?
Favorite show, man. I tell you what, I don't know. As far as venue, we played a couple shows at the Strand Theater in Shelbyville over the last couple years, and I just love those shows just because of the venue. I love those old theaters, the intimacy of it, and just the architecture is great. But favorite show, probably this past holiday season, I played with the Rhinestones at the Stadium Tavern. And it was just, like I said, flipping a switch with those guys. It makes it all seem worthwhile. It's very reassuring to play a set with those guys. And they felt the same way. Like, you know, they hadn't been playing much the year
it's like
prior.
the old shoe when you put it back on or something.
Exactly.
Like
But, yeah, exactly. Felt good.
Well, I guess kind of related to that question, what about dream show? Best possible situation you can think of.
One of my earlier goals was to play the Bluebird, and I did that with the Peyton brothers a couple years back.
In Nashville?
Bloomington.
Press isn't from Indiana. He doesn't understand.
I didn't realize there was a Bluebird.
Bluebird.
That's like the great indie bar in Bloomington.
I really want to play the Vogue.
Yeah.
You haven't played the Vogue yet?
No, that's not asking much, I don't think. I'd really love to play there.
Even
They get a
opening for
lot of
somebody.
Yeah, I know.
They get
Yeah.
a lot of cool acts.
I want to play the Vogue.
In the day before the Vogue became a dance club, yeah, that was like, the brass ring of Indianapolis.
For the record,
Yeah.
I've met a lot of really nice girls on dance night at the Vogue. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really nice,
We won't tell Molly.
homegrown girls.
Yeah.
No.
I love second interviews because we don't have to worry about who are your musical influences and all. We already covered that. We can talk about whatever we want with old Coot here.
Towns Van Zandt, Steve Earle, Bob
We
Dylan,
knew
Jerry
that.
Garcia.
And he's even got the dead sticker on his guitar to prove it. And it's got his Johnny Cash shirt on tonight. You left out Johnny Cash,
Mr. Cash. Well, that's just a given.
pretty much. Anybody in the Roots genre.
He was like a third parent to me around the house growing up. Johnny Cash and Conway Twitty.
So now I'm thinking you've got the Monon Drift album, which we talked about on the last show, and you're working on a new album?
I am. I slowly am. Working with Scott Kern over there on Fair Hope Studios in Southport. I have no projected release date or anything like that. It's kind of taking its time. I would say it would be done before 2012.
Well, there you go.
And the end of the world and all that. So,
right. You got to have something out by the end of the world.
Right.
You gotta have goals.
Yeah.
But, I'm thinking the real market is have the music ready for 2013. When everyone else is pretty much wrapping it up, you should be ready to be the first act out in 2013.
Okay.
That could be it. But,
All right.
So, is that your first, that's your second release? You did a one before
Man, I've
Monon,
done,
right?
Not really. I have. There's been, the Monon is what I consider my first quasi-real release. I've done, there's all kinds of stuff in circulation among me and my friends. CDs, little samplers I put together, demos and stuff like that. But the Monon Drift is my first real attempt at an actual album.
And that was at the Peyton Brothers.
Peyton Brothers recorded that for me in Bloomington, Indiana at their home studio.
So this is a whole, how's the process different working with Scott Kern in his studio versus working with the Peyton Brothers
It's
in
a
their
little
studio?
different, the Peyton Brothers are a little looser. Scotty, like I said, he's got his toys and his gadgets, and he knows his way around them well. Not that the Peyton Brothers don't, but it was a little looser atmosphere down there. I don't know. It should be. Scotty actually produced a couple of tracks off of the Monon Drift.
Right.
There are a couple tracks that he did on there that weren't done at the Peyton Brothers studio.
Does one of them stretch you more as an artist than the other, or do they both kind of give you free reign to do your thing? They don't actually come in and go, you need to do it this way or anything
Not
like
so
that?
much. They know how I am and what I do, so they're both pretty liberal with that. I love the whole process, the recording process. It intrigues me. I love going because just the fact that you can do anything with
Right.
the technology these days. At the touch of your fingers, you can have
4-part Cootie harmony.
Didgeridoo. You have a Tom Waits rhythm section on a track if you want it. I like to keep it simple and organic if possible, but just all the options you have access to, it's kind of overwhelming. So it's good to have somebody who knows what they're doing to kind of keep all that in line.
Well, and it seems to me your focus is more on the song as a whole, less than it is your playing or your voice is a strength. Your playing is good. You're not obviously a virtuoso guitar player.
Obviously not.
But, I mean, your songwriting is fantastic. Your voice is fantastic. Excuse me, that's probably where you're focusing. So you want the stripped down,
the
kind of
rawness.
an organic rawness to your songs, I would think.
That's just how it is.
Right. So you got to have someone that recognizes it. You could probably go in and do an electro-techno album if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
That would be fun for a couple tracks. I don't know. Have you done any really experimental off-the-wall track yet? Or is it all kind of been in that same
me and
formula?
Jethro, Easy Fields, we used to mess around in his basement and just on a simple analog 4-track. And we came up with some really cool stuff, just loops and overdubbing and stuff. And I want to add maybe 1 or 2 of those to this upcoming album, just maybe as a bonus track or something. It's total weirdness, I appreciate weirdness.
Yeah.
I really do. And
you got your I Am the Walrus in you still,
I do.
right?
It's in there.
It's in
Absolutely.
there. You just got to find the way.
Yes.
Now, was it you that I think Jethro was telling the story either on the show or off mic? Was it you and Jethro that used to do open mic or karaoke, and you used to pick each other's songs?
Suicide
to throw each other
karaoke.
Off? Suicide.
Yeah.
Tell us about suicide
karaoke. It has only happened once or twice. Late, drunken nights, find ourselves at a karaoke bar, and that was the thing. I would pick out Jethro's song to sing. I'd look for the deepest Bob Seger cuts I could find, and vice versa.
So it was really off the wall. I was thinking like he had you up there singing ABBA or something like that.
Yeah, anything.
It was stuff you could sing, but it would be really...
Yeah, just something you would never expect yourself to sing. You know what I mean? Just like...
You got to make karaoke night fun, though,
You got to make it interesting,
because otherwise it's, the same, let's all do the stupid Carrie Underwood song that everyone does at karaoke night.
Don't call it stupid. I love karaoke.
Suicide karaoke.
Question.
Suicide. It had a name even.
Yeah.
I love that. I've got to do that. I did that once when I brought Tim and some bandmates to karaoke as ringers because we had such bad singers. I brought 2 actual performing singers and I threw them up on stage doing like old Allman Brothers crap, saying you could sing this.
Right.
And then I have to tell them, I said, Tim, when you get up there, tell them to turn your mic down. Because they're used to little bouncy girls up there singing, and you're going to go up and sing full throat on the first note. And of course, it was "You May Be Right" by Billy Joel.
There you go.
So the first thing is Friday Night, I Crash, and it's like blows the levels.
Okay.
Okay, crap.
All right, coming up next on the karaoke stage is Jethro Easyfields doing "Tiptoe Through the Tulips."
Oh, I gotta get Jethro back on here because are you on his new album?
Actually, I never made it in for any. He asked me to do some vocal work.
Because you were on
the new
Elixir.
album. Yeah, I'm on Elixir, and I never made it in for the bloodletting sessions.
Now, who's on your new album?
Johnny Ping, Scott Kern will be on there. Jethro Easyfields will be on there. My buddy Danny Postlethwaite, who I mentioned earlier, he's going to be playing cello on a couple tracks.
We have another cello player in this town besides Grover Peridot.
Yeah, we're going to employ some strings.
Because and we'd said the same thing with Grover played on Chad and then Cara Jean Waller's albums. And what Grover could do with one cello and make it sound like you got a string quartet, and I don't know if it so much adds this air of pompous string quartetness to your songs, but it fills it out so nice to have a cello in there.
Absolutely.
So that'd be great with your voice to have that richness of a string section behind you.
Yeah, and like I said, I've got a stable of talent to choose from, I mean, the tracks are kind of going to grow on their own. I've got, I'm going to have some harmonica here and there, some just straight up dirty Telecaster lead guitar, some cello, maybe some violin / fiddle. Some banjo. Scott Kern is capable of playing banjo, some mandolin. The sky is the limit, Dan.
Now you have a year to come up with the rest of this. And how far are we through it now? How far are you into processing the new album?
I've got about 5 tracks, rough tracks down to build upon. It's probably going to be about a dozen tracks on the new album, something like that. I think the Moon on Drift was 9 or 10. So, yeah, about halfway
How is
there.
the songwriting progressing between Moan on Drift and this album? Are you maturing? Are you sticking with the formula?
The non-formula, the anti-formula? Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Are there elements
it's
to
maturing,
it? Are there
obviously,
elements to a
little
Cootie
bit.
Crabtree song that you're trying to get out of, or are you trying to find something and embellish it more? Or
I don't know.
What is the
I
core
don't
of
know.
the Cootie Crabtree music?
I'm not sure. You tell me.
Well, because it's hard. The voice is the most distinctive thing, I think. You've
Sure.
got a very deep voice, which a lot of people don't have.
The voice,
You're like me. You got this little gruff, way too much smoking and drinking voice.
the growl, the whiskey and cigarettes.
But I mean, emotionally, your music kind of runs the whole spectrum. You've got happy songs,
Absolutely.
you've got sad songs.
You know, yeah.
You got pretty songs, you got swampy songs.
Yeah, I find myself getting hung up on the sad songs. I don't know. As far back as I can remember, those have been some of my favorites. The saddest song.
You were kind of in a rough spot last time you were on the show, weren't you?
Probably.
Hasn't life gotten a little better for you, man?
Yeah, I stay in a rough spot, but it's all good.
You don't use that. You don't rely on it to keep you writing.
No.
I don't know. You want to play real quick?
Yeah, I'll
You want to try
one.
that? Let's try that real quick.
Want to play a little lead?
Come on, Tim.
So this is unprecedented on the Indy InTune podcast.
The first live recording.
Nice. Groundbreaking. Yeah, why don't you sit in with on a djembe with me, if you don't mind. Just some background rhythm. How about the suitcase with the sticks? I'm gonna do it in G. Well, I'm gonna do capo up on the G, but it's basically I'm doing it in the E formation.
Okay, so by way of setting that up, this will be Mr. Coot Crabtree, along with the legendary Huck Finn on suitcase drums, Mr. Tim Spainhauer pulled out of the audience on accompanying guitar,
Yeah.
and this will be our very first live recording of music on Indy InTune. So, not counting Old Lang Syne played by Press Maxon on ukulele
Which,
in the previous
I mean,
episode.
you could really count as barely live music. I mean, that was...
No, it counts. Come on now.
It's there, but this will be the first original live.
I've been traveling 600 miles all alone. 600 miles, I'm going crazy. 600 miles and nobody home. Been so long since I saw my darling. Been so long since I felt like this. It's been so long. I've been drinking. It's been so long since I had a kiss. I feel like the devil's winning. I feel like when Mama died, I feel like that wildwood flower. I feel like I wanna die. Every morning I go check the mail. Every morning for a letter to come. Every morning I say a prayer. Every morning wish you wind blow like a siren scream. Feel the wind blow, it's howling mad. Feel the wind blow away my dream. I feel like the devil's winning. I feel like when mama died. I feel like that wildwood flower. I feel like I want. Lord, I wanna die.
Got one more in you while we got the mic?
What's that? The cuckoo?
The cuckoo.
We can do the cuckoo. It's traditional. Why not? A minor, E minor. I'll give you a whole measure work towards the end, okay? I mean, do whatever you do. You're fine. I'm not. Whatever. This is my version of a centuries-old folk song.
Well, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird, and she warbles as she flies. She brings us glad tidings, and she tell us no lie. Jack a diamond, Jack a diamond. Well, I've known you of old. Rob my pocket of their silver and the gold. As for working, I'm too lazy, and for begging, that's too low. Train robbing, that's too dangerous. So gambling do I go, and the gamble up in England, and the gamble down in Spain. It ain't never brought me nothing except this feel good and this pain. Up on 10 Killer Mountain, I'm gonna build me a still, and I'll sell you 5 gallons for a $10 bill. Man, it's baking when I'm hungry, and it's whiskey when I'm dry. It's my lady for my loving. It's religion when I die. Yeah, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird, and she warbles as she flies. She brings us glad tidings, and she tell us no lie. tell us no lie. Yeah, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bug, and she warbles as she flies. She brings us glad tidings on the last day of July. On the last day of July.
Well, Press is coming back. Come on, Press. We need some more off-the-wall weird questions. That's what you're good for.
Good for nothing.
Good for the co-host here. We're trying to make this show different from 64, which was a Bloody Mary fest at 11 o'clock in the morning at Gallagher's.
Okay.
You got to come up with a better trivia game next time. I think which Beatles going to get old by the time show 100.
Which Stone?
Yeah, let's play which Rolling Stone next time.
Okay.
What did we already do the off the wall gag?
Which monkey?
Oh,
Which monkey? That's good. Okay.
Can you name all four monkeys?
Which?
I doubt it.
Which
Mickey?
monkey?
No. Peter.
Davy
Davy Jones,
Jones.
Peter
Jones,
Tork,
Peter
Mickey.
Tollins.
Darren Snyder.
I don't know if that's.
No,
a
I don't think I was a
monkey.
monkey. I'm pretty
Not so
sure.
much. Okay.
Mickey, Peter, Davy, Mike Nesmith.
Mike Nesmith. That's incredible.
Mickey Dolenz, Mike Nesmith. Okay.
Is that real?
Now, actually, the other thing you got to find, the funniest thing I ever saw was when Frank Zappa was on the Monkees show. Have you seen this one? Where Frank dressed up as Mike and Mike dressed up as Frank Zappa and they pretend to be each other.
I don't want to get off topic here.
It's on
but
YouTube. I'll link to it
Zappa-
in the show notes. But yeah.
I saw this video of Zappa where he, it was some live show, but it was honestly the most focused and best musically put together show that I'd seen in a long time. And I mean, Zappa.
Zappa plays Zappa?
I don't know what it was called.
That was
but it
Dweezil, though. That wasn't Frank on those. But yeah, no, any Frank
No,
Zappa.
it was a Frank Zappa.
The thing, Frank Zappa was a composer first and foremost. So yeah, anything those guys played was written out in chart and given to them, and it was so tight. It was. I've got a couple of his shows on tape.
So tight.
Incredible. Like, look at going. How the hell do you stay together through that? And it's like, yeah, that was. He
really
didn't hire second class musicians at any point.
It
in his
really
career.
made me consciously decide maybe drugs is a bad thing. It was the first time I ever. Yeah, I know.
yeah.
We'll meet together, man. I know.
Because Frank is notorious as an anti-drug
Exactly, as an anti-drug guy.
He never did
like,
them. Although
We were jamming Joe's garage.
that's my favorite Zappa album. I play that. That's a winter album. Do you do this? Because I do this. We'll just get off topic and talk a little. And if it's good, we'll keep it. But I have like this summer playlist of albums that I play when the weather's good, and then I have this winter playlist of albums when it's snowy and you're stuck inside. Joe's Garage is like the first album I play on my winter playlist. First snow of the year, I'm whipping out Joe's Garage and for some reason Deep Purple's Perfect Strangers. And I don't do drugs. So if you find yourself on the Coot Crabtree podcast talking about Frank Zappa, you've gotten way off topic. But that's right, because we should be talking Tom Waits. So what about you? You got any great garage band experiences from high school playing music?
Not from high school. Actually, I had guitars growing up through the years, mandolins, banjos, and I think my parents even tried to give me lessons at one point, and the instructor said my fingers weren't developed enough, which I think is a completely lame excuse.
That's BS.
What, you got the webbing removed from them, right? Okay.
Well, yeah.
So that flipper you used to play with was kind of a detriment. Yeah.
I didn't start playing guitar until my freshman year of college. I took a guitar course in Vincennes University in
What you major in?
party.
Oh,
That's what I majored in.
okay.
Sweet. I have my diploma
I got
in that
no
too.
school done. It was just
A musician.
Is there some? All right. Well, here, I think this is pretty appropriate. Is there some anthem that you could, use as your farewell to the podcast, or
He was going to write me a new theme song at one point.
No.
He's working on it. I said, show 100, it's time to change the music, because that music I've been using for the last 100 episodes is crappy.
I had actually an idea to do something like that. I just never got around to it.
Well, you still got about 6 weeks before that
Yeah,
show
that's
comes
right.
out. We're only on 94.
So, is there something that you feel
You wanna take us out with
matters? Yeah, you can take this out on.
No.
Come on, there still is.
Oh. You got anything left? We got an hour and 20 minutes worth of stuff for basically we need 40 minutes, so we got more than enough material. Anything we didn't cover? We get everything in on you?
We know, plenty.
Okay.
Plenty, buddy. I'm good.
We'll edit this down. My guest this evening, co-host Mr. Press Maxon, PressMaxon.com,
Please visit
ReverbNation.com/PressMaxon. You've heard him on, I don't have the list. Here we go.
Show number 44, show number 100, the Jeremiah Cosner show.
That was 48. Show 72 with the Blair Reinhardt Band.
Please
show
listen.
93, which was out last week, technically, or the previous show.
I got some lyrics. Here we go.
And Mr. Coot Crabtree was on show 64. So,
Thanks for having me back.
oh, man, my pleasure. We need to hang out more, because there's not enough Coot Crabtree in my life. You know?
Absolutely.
You know, we got to make this work.
I'm easy.
No,
I'll just leave that at
that's not a
dead
metaphor.
silence.
That's
Yeah,
not a metaphor. Yeah.
Okay. IndyInTune.com for the show notes with the picture of Coot's arm and the shots we were doing. I love these off-the-rails shows that we do. So, Coot Crabtree, ReverbNation.com/Coot Crabtree.
Cootie
Crabtree.
ReverbNation.com/Cootie Crabtree.
Facebook.com has a page on there now, Cootie Crabtree.
Facebook, just search for Cootie Crabtree.
Links in the show notes to all of this. New album coming out in 2012.
Yes, sir.
But songs
it'll be out in
available
2011.
Songs available sporadically. You've heard a couple of them here live tonight. Tim Spanehauer is everywhere. We'll link to his stuff too. And
It is
Mr.
everywhere.
Huck Finn over there in the corner, the legend of the Indianapolis music scene. I think that was about it. So this has been show number 94.
Keep going.
Keep going,
94.
man. We got the 94 blues. Uh-oh.
Yes, show number 94. Yeah, that's 45 plus 4 times 2, yeah.
No, it's not.
45 times 2 plus 4 equals number 94, yeah. This is good.
I said, can you not tie this back into IndyInTune.com?
Yeah, IndyInTune.com, drum solo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this
I played bells in high school.
This has been a low point for Indian Tune. We have sung to the blues. Not that the playing is bad, but the singing ain't so good. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time on show number 95. I don't know
Thanks, everybody.
who the hell is going to
Thanks,
follow
Indian
this.
Tune.
Thank you,
Darren
Cootie
Snyder.
Crabtree.
Thanks, Press. Thanks, Huck Finn and Wits In.